Hilchos Lulav Berg Zayin Halacha Yud. Keitzad Moilach U'Mananea Rosh HaLulav. How does he move and shake the lulav? So we'll go down to the Peirush. Keitzad, what's the order of the nanuim? Moilach, he pushes it away from him one more time. U'Mananea Rosh HaLulav, and then he shakes it sholosh pa'amim, and he shakes it 3 times. So maybe he brings it back to his physical body. U'Mananea Rosh HaLulav. Then he does it again 3 times. V'chein ba'aliyah, and so too when he goes up, and he brings it back. V'yerida, and also when he brings it back down below. Ma'im Mishnah side Sukkahs 38, Moilach U'Mevi, which seems to be forward and back. Ma'al U'Merid, up and down. Aben Menach sides Moilach U'Mevi. That goes to all 4 corners. Ma'al U'Merid is that's to watch over the evil spirits from around us, and Ma'al U'Merid is to take away talalim, which is dew that is not good for the civilization. There are 4 shitas, there are 4 ways of shaking the lulav. The Rae Gann Mishnah adds that the Rambam and other Mephoshim are of the opinion that in addition to every movement forward, you have to do it 3 times. You have to shake it, and so it would seem that is the opinion of the Riv. But there are many Go'onim who say that the Anuim that it says in the Mishnah, they themselves are to move it forward and bring it back up and down. You don't have to shake it in addition. And there are those who say that you don't move it up and down and bring it up, back and forth just once, and afterwards you shake the lulav at the very end. According to them, Ma'al U'Merid is its own thing, and Anuim is a separate. Shaking it is a different thing. According to them, Moilach U'Mevi, Ma'al U'Merid means 1 time, and Anuim is 1 time. According to the Rambam, is 3 times. The Rae Gann Mishnah brings the 4th opinion that you shake the leaves while you're moving it and bringing it back, and while you're putting it up and down, and there's no measure to them. And the ends that all the shitas have to do with Sugi of Yerushalmi, that it brings the Riv. In every one of any way that one does it, one fulfills his obligation. The source for the shitas are Rambam, that has a Mishnah besides Yerushalmi. We learned you have to shake it 3 times on each instance. So 0 questions. Each side once, or maybe 3 times for 1 section. And he explains that according to the Rambam, you have to shake it 3 times on every going and coming and up and down. Abzera isn't sure if going and coming is considered 1 time that needs 3 shakes to it, or going is 3 and coming back is 3. And there it's not conclusive as to how one does it, because even though it's a Sofik D'Rabbanan and Anuim not Maxim, you still do it going and coming. It says when you pick up the lulav itself, you fulfill your obligation. That's the Rambam. Everything you do beyond that point is hidur mitzvah. Like Rosh Maimonides explains that Abzera wasn't sure if going is once and coming back is once, and when he does it again, going 1 time, that's the 3rd time, or you have to have 3 times back and forth. And there they concluded that you have to shake it 3 times. Yirmiyahu isn't sure if going and coming is once or twice, and so we find in Menachos, and we do it l'chumrah. Therefore, here too we're more stringent, because we learn from the Yerushalmi that you have to go 3 times and bring it back 3 times, not like the Rambam. who would seem to infer that Hagos Maimon is that going to the Rambam, you have to go 1, 2, and 3, and you don't do it back and forth. The Lechem Mishnah says that the Maggid Mishnah brought down 4 explanations, and he writes that 3 of them are found in Iran, in the Peirush HaMeir. The Shitas HaRosh, you should do 3 times in every instance of going forward and back. That's a 5th one, like the Yerushalmi of the Hagos Maimonides. And we are stringent because we love mitzvahs. Therefore, we need 3 by going and 3 by coming. And the Rosh writes that's what the Rif means. According to this, most of the world has the custom that they do 3 times forward and 3 times back. And Bavli, it only says once in each direction. Yerushalmi says 3. Lechem Mishnah explains the Rosh, you have to shake it 3 times in each going and coming. That it means you have to do it 3 times. And so the Torah understood, and he brings to the Bala Itur, the Halacha Avoam is what we mean by the shaking. It doesn't mean you have to shake it. And this is Lechem Mishnah questions that the Torah himself wrote, and the shaking is that he moves it with his hands from in front of him, and he shakes it there 3 times, and then 3 times when he brings it back. Since he says you should shake it there, it would seem that he's of the opinion that you do shake it. That he explains like the Rambam, that in every instance of going or coming, he does shake it 3 times. And when he brings the Balaito, he seems to explain like the Rosh, and he goes extensively to comprehend which is the Torah's opinion. Shulchan Aruch explains that the shaking, the nanua, is that he brings his hand from in front of him and goes forward, and he shakes it there 3 times when he goes and 3 times when he comes back, and then he puts his hand to another direction of the heavens, and he does the same, and he does it for all 4 sides, and he also does up and down like the Rosh. The Ramah adds then that he does shake the lulav and the leaves by every movement, that the leaves should make a noise like when you shake bells, and going and coming is the shaking, because he brings it 3 times to every side. Umoten, and you turn the lulav to every side, and when you do it bottom, you turn it upside down. That's called derech kilosoi, since he's holding in his hand the way it's growing. And there are those who do not turn it over, but rather they lower the bottom of the lulav down. The meaning is like the first story he says, but we actually bring it down. Rae Gann Family, when does he do it? This Mishas Kriza Halal, when he reads the Halal, by the first Chodel Hashem, that we say at the beginning, Chodel Hashem Kitoiv, and Soif in the end. And also by Ona Hashem Mashiach as well. The Maggid Mishnah cites the Mishnah in Sukkah 37b. Where did you shake it? That's base Hillel. Beginning and the end, the second Chodel Hashem Kitoiv. Hagos Maimonides cites from Rabbeinu Avi Ho'ezer that the Anuim in all their different ways are only when you make the bracha on Hilchos Lulav. He should do just a slight, he doesn't have to do the entirety of how it's done. He disagrees with the Rambam. Rabbeinu Simcha writes, we don't find Anua when they make the bracha in the Bali Yerushalmi Tosefta, only in Halal. And only in Brochas Staff 30, he said he would get up early to go out. If he had to leave early, they bring him as a lulav, and he does it then when he makes the bracha. That it seemed to be only if there's no other possibility. Maybe that's the minig to do it at the time of the bracha, even though that there they only said if he had to go out. And go see what the custom of the world is to make b'shas the brocha as well, and by halal. Why the Mishnah doesn't say you have to do it at the time of the brocha? And he cites Sukkah 42a that a minor who knows how to shake has to take a lulav. It would seem that the nanuim at the time of the brocha is an obligation. And why a cotton is obligated? Maybe he doesn't know how to read the halal yet. So therefore, we see that nanua is at the time of the brocha. The Mishnah doesn't mention it because it's understood. It only says when do you do it in halal. The Rambam is of the opinion which you bring it forward, back and forth in halal. Thus we see that there are nanuim at the time of the brocha, and them he's not referring at all. But it could be that Behechem Moilech maybe is a question. B'shas Kriyas HaHalal is the beginning of the answer. And there's no proof from the language from what he says. Going Avshalom, Avshalom, who learned in the Gemara, the Rabbi Yaakov shook the lulav and he said, Dein gira be'ena de sitna, that he would say this is like a poke into the eyes of the sultan. That he saw that he cannot separate Yisrael from mitzvahs, and if he shakes it only in halal, you can't speak then. And behechrach, you have to do it by brocha as well, because you can't speak in between. On B'hoid L'Hashem Kitoiv, at the beginning of the end, cites Rashi in Sukkah 37, and also the Agos Maimonides mentions it, that the intent is the Hoidu that's the beginning of Hoidu, and the Hoidu that's at the end, before the end of Halul. And there are those who mean Tchilo means the first posuk B'hoid L'Hashem Kitoiv, and Soiv means Kilo Elam Chazer, which is at the end. And they're meaning, and they bring from the Smag, the Anuim and Hoidu are found in the Posuk in the Yomim. Oz Yanu Atzei Yoah, Hoid L'Hashem Kitoiv Yilon Chazoi, the Imroi Shienu. Yiranu Atzei Yoah, that's the Lulav Hodes Harova, and they say Hoidu and they say Ono Hashem Hashienu. That's when you do it. Rabbeinu Manoich adds, the minig is to by Hoidu at the end of the Perik, you do it twice. Ono twice. And you menanim by both of them. The Aritz Geis brings down that you should shake it to the up at the time when you say Hashem. Between Hoilu and Bein Ba'ono. And the hinder to it is where it says Hashemayim Shemayim L'Hashem. So when you maneh towards heaven, that's when you say Hashem. Not like Rabbeinu Peretz by Elio, that he didn't do it by Hashem. Rabbeinu Manoich explains the order of the Nanuim as the Rishonim do in Yerushalmi, and he says, go out and see my Amad Ma, what the people are speaking, meaning how the custom is according to the Rambam. And Rae Gann Olam do it that way, and one should not change. And he adds that the Gemara didn't say, doesn't mention north and south, just forward, back, up and down. But the custom is do it in all four sides and up and down. And there's what to rely on. That the reason is to stop evil things from happening from a person. So that's from four corners and up and down. That's the minig, as it says in the brochas. When you say Shema, you say Hashem Echad, you have to have intent. He's God over the four sides, and He's King over heaven and earth as well. And those are the intent. Now, whoever controls the two sides, it controls four sides, and the acceptance of Malchus Shamayim has to do with the acceptance of what a person's understanding is. And one should not be lenient with regard to customs, as we find in Beya. Be careful, it's minig avesechem b'yadechem. Furthermore, the nature of a person is to be aroused according to what he does. And when he moves it to the four sides and up and down, that shows that he's actually, in a sense, placing God as king over the entire world. In his world. And recently Sefta, we don't have it, that the lulav should be long enough that when he does it forward and backwards, up and down, they will shake. That's enough room for the lulav to shake. That has to go out of tefach, and that will cause it to have a place to shake, even though it's tied up. And when it's longer, it's easier to shake it. And it could be that the Sefta teaches us that you don't shake it like a person who's trembling, but with strength. It says, so here you have a source in Tillim also that when a person damaged Machon Nesher, they used to stand still, but today we shake because of the concept of our entire being should be subservient and state that Hashem is God. The Shulchan Aruch in 651 says, the way you do it is you start off from your right hand, and then in front of you, and then to your left, and then to your behind you. The Mishnah Berurah adds that would seem derech hachaim chay odom. That was the minhag in Lita, because they were careful always to go to the right. And there's no difference between somebody who's a righty or a lefty with regard to this, because you go going to the right of the entire world. And now we'll make the order that the custom is by us, that we face east, and the spine of the lulav is in front of the eyes of the person, and he does 3 to Mizrach, and 3 times he comes back, and he should shake as well while he's doing that. And when he brings it, he should bring it as close to his body by the chest where the heart is, and then he goes to the south, and he doesn't have to turn, and he does 3 times as well. And then he goes to the back behind him on his shoulder with his face facing east but his hands facing backwards, again 3 times, and then to his left 3 times. That's the minhag of Ashkenaz. But the Eidot HaMizrach and Hasidim are noyeg according to the Rae, and they hold the lulav again with the shedra facing them, and first they do it to the south, then to the north, then to the east, then to above, then to down, and then to the back. Shulchan Aruch in 651 Sivches continues, you should shake it when you make the brocha. The Mishnah Berurah cites that even if he's not taking it by halal, you should shake it to every direction, and then you should take it again in halal. And the Mechaber continues, you should also do it by Hoil Hashem another time, like the Ran, that you shake it by Hoidu Harishon. But by Hoidu, the Tikal say after the Chazan, by Yemen Yisrael, they say Hoidu, and they say Yemen Beis Aaron, they Hoidu. He's of the opinion, the Ran is that you do not shake it. No, the Ramah says, and you shake in every Hoidu, like the Rosh. Therefore, the difference whether you shake it, whether you do it 6 times, whether you do it 8 times. According to Ashkenaz, you do it by the second Hoidu twice as well. And furthermore, the Mechaber writes about Hashem Shabbat you say it, repeat it, you do it 2 times. The Shliach Tzibur, it does it only by Hoidu Rishon and by Ona Hashem Ashiyano 2 times because we repeat it. There are more sites. There are those who say that Shliach Tzibur also shakes when they say Yemen Yisrael, but not by Yemen No. And that's the minhag of Ashkenaz. According to the Sfarim Hasidim, Shliach Tzibur and the Tzibur only do it by the first Hoidu and by Ona Hashem twice, and the last time is 1 time by the last Hoidu. The Mishnah Berurah explains the order of the words, how you divide them up when you shake it. That you make Hoil Hashem Kitoiv, you divide it up. Part of it you do by Hoil Hashem Kitoiv, and part by Kidonim Chazdoi. When Hashem Ashiyano, you also divide it up, and you should not shake when he says Hashem. Because by Skos Hashem you have to have intent. If he'll shake it, he won't be able to have intent. Therefore, except for the Shem Hashem, you have 6 words, so you can shake by each one of them by one word. 4 sides, up and down. Oh no. Then by each word you have to do twice, because with On Hashem Mashiach there's 4 words with the Shem Hashem, and you have to take out the Shem Hashem. And therefore there's only 3 words which you do twice. The Machon Nesher says the name of the Ari. Then you should bring it, when you return the Lulav, you should bring it to your chest. The entire day, the Rambam says, the whole day is kosher until the Lulav, but you cannot take it at night. The Maggid Mishnah, Maggid Maimonides, say the Mishnah Megillah Chav 20b. Maggid Maimonides cites another Mishnah in Sukkah. Somebody comes from the way, he didn't have a Lulav, he can take it on his table when he's eating. If he didn't take it in the morning, you can do it by the afternoon, because the whole day is kosher Lulav. Gemara explains he has to stop eating to take it by day. On the first day, which is the Isa, but the other days, he should only stop if there won't be time after the meal to do the Nanuim. Rabbeinu Monoyach explains that Lulav is taken in every day by day, like everything that's mitzvah is by day. We find the Mishnah Megillah, as we mentioned earlier, 20b. Everything that mitzvah is by day is kosher all day. Therefore, he writes, it's not taken at night. Rabbeinu Monoyach cites a posuk l'kachton lochem b'yoyim. You have to take it by day, not at night. The Arif cites that someone comes from the way, you should stop his meal and you should take it. Now, Rabbeinu Monoyach himself says it's an extra chumrah, but if there's no suffix that whether it's Minat Torah on the first day or other days, that you stop the meal if you won't have time to do it during the day and you won't fulfill the obligation. The Shulchan Aruch in 652 says that the halacha is that Mrs. Lulav is by day, not at night. The entire day you can take it. If you didn't take it in the morning, you should take it afterwards. And still, however, those who are zrizim, meaning people who are swift to do the mitzvahs, take it right away in the morning. And it's Wednesday morning from sun up. But the main mitzvah is by hallow. And if he has to get up early to take it, he may take it even from the morning star. It's forbidden to eat before you take it. If he went ahead and ate and he remembers that he's eating a meal, then he has to stop in the middle of the meal. And the first day, which is Minat Torah, even if he's going to be able to take it later. After the first day, if there's time to take it later, he doesn't have to stop. But if there is no time, he does have to stop.